Great Sunday, and a bunch of people very much interested what will happen to India-England cricket match. Is it so? All right, so I know the scores are going there live. Keep watching, enjoying the cricket. Don't miss the fun. At the same time, thanks for being here. Being a Sunday, we will do this Sunday prayer. What is that? We'll learn some subject here. First thing today, I'm going to talk more about agile risk management. That's one of the topic I want to bring up. And then we have a couple of questions here to talk about it and listen to the people about your exam preparation and exam questions. You have anything to discuss? I have an interesting thing today because I have one person who cleared PMP. He's going to talk about his experience. Okay, one person in this group now. I'm having him already. I'll give a couple of minutes as people are getting in, joining in. First, thanks all for being here. Let me see if anyone have an exam nearby. Then I will go with the person who cleared the exam to talk more about this. So anyone here close to the exam in another few days and few weeks of time? Close to the exam. Shri, close to the exam, 2025, January. No. Okay. Okay. I have Tejasvi. Yes, Tejasvi, go ahead. What's happening?
Shri, actually, I am planning for like 18th of December.
Cool. So more holidays coming up, plan to rock.
Yes.
That's a plan. Very
Like
good. Nice.
yesterday, you said that like if we close the one chapter, then we can close the another one. So it is like, yes.
Fantastic. Fantastic. It's something like in work in progress. In Kanban, we say that keep a limited item work in progress, close it out. So for this year, your plan is to that. So Tejasvi, to talk about it, December 18, which it means you should be in a good reading stage right now, learning the books.
Like yesterday, day before yesterday, you asked the question in the group that how many chapters has been completed. So
Yeah.
like, I have completed only 2 chapters, but yes, I'll pick I'll put up a gear for it to complete all the
Nice to know.
chapters to
Nice to
read
know.
and practice what is to be done for the questions.
Very
I
good. Very good. Nice to know about Tejasvi. So Tejasvi, the point here is I like the date, what you say. Good. Because the moment you set the date of December 18, now if you calculate from today, you know how many work days available, how many holidays available, how much you have to read. By now you have a fair idea about it. One request to you, at least by December 1st, if in case December 18 is exam, December 1st, please start your full exams and some question practice in detail.
Okay, so like on our website, you're advising to practice that.
That's right. In our website, we have
Okay.
60 questions, 40 questions, 180 questions. I would say by
Mhm.
December 1st, some timeline, you should be ready to write 180 questions. That is full exams to
Okay.
see how you are performing on time management, question reading
Okay.
ability, and scores. All three we can evaluate. I'm not saying
Okay.
that you should do only December 1st. You can even do a little early than that. But December
Okay.
1st would be the good time because you have 17 days with you before the exam. So you get a time
Yes.
to take one exam, analyze those questions, and go to the next exam. You have the time.
Mhm. Got that.
Perfect.
Okay. Yes.
All right,
Thank you.
fantastic. Before Christmas, you can close it out. That's the good news.
Yes.
Okay. I have a couple of them. I'm going to listen to them. Then I'm going to the PMP winner of the day. Kaushik. So what's happening there?
Hi, Shri. Good evening.
Hey,
Uh, I think I'm almost prepared. So I've taken almost three, full 180 mock questions. Then
very good.
I'm just following your suggestions. So, it's almost I'm getting seven something, on an average 70%. So,
No.
yesterday I took 160 mock questions. I scored 77%. I'm revisiting those gap analysis also.
Good
And
to know.
I need to just now book the exam date. I paid the exam fees. Now I
Mm-hmm.
the first test I have on 10th available date here, the center based one.
Which city you
So
are, Kaushik?
I'm Sydney.
Sydney you are.
Yeah,
Sydney. How many centers you have for exam?
three. There are three in Sydney.
Three centers are there. So now you don't have a date. That's what you mentioned to me.
The earliest is on 10th. of November.
Okay. So what is your thought? You want to go for it?
Yes, in next couple of days. So every time, it seems like, no, let me spend some more time, be more sure about. So that's the thing.
Yeah, man.
So
This is something like this, like getting married. Yeah. We feel like, okay, let's get one more, some more money saved in the account, then buy a car, maybe a house with a loan. Then you get married. That day will not happen. Get married,
yeah,
then buy what you want.
so
I would
true.
say you are in a good shape right now, Kaushik. So I would say
Sure,
go ahead and block the date. And
sure,
close to the exam, 1 week and 10 days, I'll let know how to tune it. We'll work it out.
sure.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
As soon as I will, book that date, I will just, contact
Perfect.
you. I will update you
Perfect.
on that.
Keep in touch with me in the WhatsApp so I know what you're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Thanks a lot,
Super. You're
Shri.
sitting in Sydney, but you're wearing California. That's a little confusing.
Yeah, I bought it from India. Still, I'm wearing it.
Made in Sri Lanka. Huh? Okay, good. I like that. Global village. Nice to know. Nice to know. Good. Thanks. Keep moving.
Thanks.
We'll talk to Vinay. Hey, Vinay.
Hey, hi Shri. So I plan to give the exam maybe in the last week of November or the first week of December.
Very
I've
good.
completed one reading of, yeah, I'm from the April batch. So
Okay.
yeah, so I completed one reading of Rita, and the second reading is going on, just skimming through, as well as I'm solving, and one reading of Agile Practice Guide also I've completed.
Very good.
And I'm yeah, so I'm solving now the 40 questions set actually, but I'll
Uh-huh.
plan to give the full mock. So this November is going to be all mocks for me, and doing gap analysis.
Nice. Good to know. You're having a tentative date in mind as November last week or December first week. Is this right?
Correct, correct. So depending upon my mock scores and
Okay.
how big is my gap, right?
When you
Right.
decide,
Yeah, I'll
then you
decide.
decide.
Yep.
And you're taking 60 questions and also some 180 questions by any chance? Full exam?
No, no, I have not given that 180. I have not reached up to that. I'll give that in a week's time from
Yeah,
now.
not urgent. Not urgent. As I was pointing with Tejasvi, same format with you. I have that 15, 18 days with you to take some full exams
Right.
before you go to
Okay.
main exam because some of us, when they write the exam, the first shot, they get the rhythm, the time management, the patience to answer the exam, scores, they get better. For some, what will happen is when you go to full exam, they get a little tired and exhausted. They need that practice to sit in a place and write for 4 hours. So
Right.
start mid of November if you're practicing main exam, going for main exam at end of November.
Yes. Yes. I'll
Yep.
do that. Yep. Thank you.
Fantastic. Are we in touch in WhatsApp with the details?
Not yet. I'll do that.
Very good. Very good. Please do that. Good. So that makes us to get to the person, someone here who cleared the exam, looks very fresh, active, and he's also smiling now. Hey, Chandan. Good to
Hey,
have you, man. Chandan PMP. Great.
thank you so
Great.
much, Shri. Thank you.
Great. Congratulations. And I'm sure it's a great excitement the last few days.
Yes, 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 definitely. A lot of excitement, and even on the day of exam, I didn't know that I had got the result when when I came back and I sent you the. Anyways, I will share that experience with all. Yeah, please go ahead, Shri. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. The floor is yours. You are the star of the day. So we have to give the full floor to you.
All right. So first, I would like to thank you, Shri. Because of all the material, all the motivation that you put across. I think this is the one. The platform that you set. The preparation is one thing, but the platform that you guys set, that is something what differentiates from others. And even in fact, Rahul, he was very supportive in getting the application form questions, or even whatever questions we had, he used to respond very quickly. So I would like to
Great.
give a
No.
shout out for him as well,
Thanks.
and Team Shri. Yeah.
Thanks for the credit. But of course, we know the effort each one put, including you.
Yeah.
Sleepless nights, less food, more reading. Till
Yeah.
the exam hall, there is a confusion. Will I clear the exam? so, so the people audience listening here, first we congratulate from the people from YouTube, LinkedIn, because people are live watching now. Everyone have this question is, what is the intensity level of the question? Is it tough, moderate, or how is it?
I would say, Shri, I am, to be honest, I am an average student. Okay. So for me, if I'm able to get above target in all the three domains, there is no shortcut for this. This is only because of the, the hard work that we have to put in, read the, the chapters, and then attend the all the questions. To answer your question, if at all we have done the reading and followed all your instructions properly, the questions will be easily understandable. Even in fact, out of 180 questions, there was not even a single question where I did not understand. Okay, or it was like a bouncer. I would say these 180 questions, so if at all we have taken the 3 full mocks and all the daily questions, I would say somewhere or the other, the mindset is being, kind of incorporated in these questions. So were a bouncer for me. 180 out of 180 questions were something hidden in your full mocks.
That's good, man. I think this is motivating the people who are watching this video. I like the way you said, not even one question was a bouncer, which means you are able to read, you're able to understand.
Yes, definitely. Not even one, actually. I can say that.
Good,
If you
man.
are prepared, but if you are not prepared and if you are taking a chance, I would say all 180 would be bouncers. Everything was situational. None of them were straightforward.
Fantastic, fantastic. Okay. Audience, I think people are watching here. You guys are excited hearing from him, saying that, yes, we are on the right track. You feel so?
Yeah. Congratulations, Chandan. Yeah. Thank you for inspiring us.
Yeah, thank you.
That's great. That's great. That's great. So, any specific tips, Chandan, you want to give to the people? Hey, guys, do this. I know you gave a motivation. I like it. Anything specific you want to tell on the reading and exam preparation?
Yeah. So, Shri, one thing which is like, we are all in that age group, and we all have the already projects which we are handling. So it is definitely difficult to get out of that and, constantly sit for 2-3 hours for study. So I used a technique called Pomodoro technique, which is like 20-10 or 25. So 20 minutes, you trick your brain to sit and study, and 5 minutes you can take a break. So this is how I started. That is the first technique I used. We have many apps or timers online which we can use. So I use that. I believe you would definitely know about this Pomodoro.
Yeah, for the benefit of audience, when you said 20 minutes you read, then 5 minutes break. Again, you come back how many minutes?
Again, 20, 20, 20, and I do this for 4 times. And then you take a little longer break. So this will trick your mind that, you don't have to sit for 3 hours. You just have to do for 4 or 5 sessions or iterations. Then, you can. So over a period of time, what I did, I could complete around 10 iterations, which is like 200 minutes per day. And you will never know that you have actually, reading so much impact. Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. Okay, I love that. I think the Pomodoro talks about 25 minutes, but you took it as 20 minutes. That's what you say?
Yeah, 20. And then actually, after I increased it to 30 and 5. So initially I started with 20 and then I increased it to 30.
Nice, man. Nice. I like the way you use a technique, and also you use the iteration or sprint format. So you go multiple times.
And then so this is how I started the reading part. And just apart from the Rita 10th edition, the Agile Practice Guide, and the PMBOK glossary, I didn't touch any of the other material. And definitely I consistently followed the Q&A which Rahul sent on a daily basis. And chapter wise test, almost 5 to 10 per chapter, and the full 3 full mocks. This is the only thing. I just followed whatever was informed to me in the class and whatever you had mentioned. So there is no secret for this. Just follow you. That's it.
Good to know, Chandan. That's really motivates us. I'm clear about the book reading, and I like the habit what you said on a daily what you have to do. Very good, very good. And again, for the question understanding, while practicing, you're at home with your laptop, you're convenient. When you go to main exam, there the time management, did you had any difficulty?
Okay, so here, Shri, what we saw in the full mocks, our mind thinks that we would be getting some 4-5 line questions or a paragraph of the question length. In the main exam, maximum I got was 3-liner. Most of them were, I would say 60-70% of them were 2-liner questions, and rest of them were 3-liner. And again, they're not describing too much of a story. They're just just asking pretty much straight to the what they want, like what the project manager, past, present, or future kind of questions. And one golden tip which you gave me in the last week, which I had ignored actually personally, is the people domain questions. Okay. So we tend to ignore the people domain, because it's a very topic which anyone can read and understand, but answering it would be little difficult. But what I did, you asked me to focus on people domain in the last week, which I tried almost 100 plus questions. And in the main exam, I felt about 70-80% was actually people domain when I went there, actually. It could have been less than that, 40-42%. But for me, it looked like 80%, in fact.
That's a good point you brought out. I think that is the area tough for a human being. While discussing people concept looks easy, but while go as an exam to talk about a conflict management, negotiations, and empathy, agile thought, I think there we stuck whether to say A as answer, C as an answer. Yeah, that stuff is there.
There were a lot of questions on conflict management and influencing skills. These were too many, actually, in fact. Yeah.
Very good, very good, very good. How was it on the math part? Math, you had any toughness?
No, there was only one PERT question. There were no other, but there were other interesting questions like match the following, and then they had given a graph, and we had to click on the hotspot. Like they were given a burn down graph to analyze, and then click on a point in the graph. So that was like more of a hotspot question. So this I had. That's it. And then multiple choice questions I had too.
Fantastic, fantastic. Look like a game. They had some hotspot. They have you enjoyed the exam.
Yes, it was interesting actually. It was a good learning experience as well. And
very good, very good. Rightly said, Chandan. Earlier, what happened is PMI said we'll take 5 days to declare the results, and some of them are waiting for 30 hours to get the results. I think from you and a couple of them before you. Once you come out of the exam center, they give a printout as you have passed the exam, a provisional paper.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. You got the exam hall itself.
Yeah, but what happened, I didn't know about this. So after 4 hours of reading the questions on the screen and not looking at elsewhere, the invigilator just handed over to me an acknowledgement. She said that this is your acknowledgement for the exam you have written. I didn't even look at the paper. I slipped it in. And I came back, I had dinner and I was cleaning my bag. And then I thought there had been some paper. I thought I'll, just, put it away. So I just saw. Then it was like, congratulations, you passed the exam. I didn't even know for 6 hours that I had passed the exam.
God, man. See the way, right? Some people work hard and then just forget the results outcome. It happens automatically.
But, I was confident that I will clear. I think I messaged you after coming out. And that confidence you'll get only after practicing all the mocks and analyzing this. Yes.
Yeah, Chandan. I know that. A week before you are ready to clear the exam.
I didn't get the thoughts, but definitely. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Nice, Chandan. Super good. Once again, thanks a lot coming up here and giving these tips. Primarily, the people who clear the exam, when they come up like this and talk about their success, I'm sure at least 5 of them get motivated. They feel that, okay, I am also the same tracker. Because sometimes people think people clearing exams done something exceptionally different. Then when you go through the path, you realize they're also the same human being like us. Same thing they did, but they cleared. Yeah, that focus is needed. Amazing. Good. Super good. And once again, thanks a lot. And thanks for coming up here. And you're free to be listening our Q&A sessions, asking questions, keep answering. You can be active all the time. Yeah,
no,
that's important.
I will continue to do also because I'm not from primarily an agile background. We follow, I'm coming from an IT industry where we follow predictive approach. So when I was reading agile, so we really got interested in this. I also proposed at the company that, we can implement such a technique to deliver faster, in fact. So they were interested. So I also messaged you, Shri, that we'll be taking up ACP as well. And I want to keep up that learning pace, in fact. Yeah.
That's cool, man. Look at the way you are. Cleared the exam, you started applying in your corporate. Huh? You made sure your promotion is there. I like it, but I'm just pulling on the joke there. But reality is you're applying what you learned. I think that's very much important. Thanks a lot for doing this. And again, you'll be part of our Elite group where people converse after PMP what to do. in your career or any learning. So join our new group called Elite Group and be contributing there as well.
Definitely,
Right?
Shri. Do my best.
All right. Fantastic. Fantastic. Good. Thanks a lot again.
Thank you,
And
Shri.
good. We'll catch up again. Thank you.
Thank you, Shri. Thank you.
All right, audience. I think you're all pretty excited listening to his success. Do anyone got any inputs to tell that I'm going to use it? What is that?
Yes, Shri, the technique actually what he had just explained, that I think it will work for me as well, because concentrating on the particular thing, I can't sit more than a half an hour like on a one place.
Uh-huh.
So I think this technique would really help me. And the part which I said previously also, that I planned for the date of 18th of December, that was like when I started reading the Rita 11, the first two chapters were too much lengthy. Actually, I was getting first time when I started reading for first 2 days, it was like bore for me to read that. But after some time, when I picked, like I was on the track, it got more interesting for me to
Uh-huh.
learn new chapters, that when this chapter will finish and I'll start a new chapter. So in that race, I read the two lengthy chapters firstly, that were the second and the third chapter. And
Okay.
then I'll start as per our agenda, the study agenda which is shared. Then I'll go for the
Mm.
15th and then 17th, and then it will go on. So according to that, I thought that I'll read all the book. I'll get that knowledge about, like I'll get the concept clear. If I'm on the track, and then I can clear the exam. Like
Like
I
that.
can, yes,
I
I
like
can
that.
be ready. Yeah, I can be ready by the date which I shared. So I
Perfectly.
thought,
Perfectly.
yeah, thank you.
Let's rock. Let's rock. Amazing. Great. Today, I feel very active and positive energy from everyone here. That's really, really, really good. So it all starts with when someone clears and gives an energy. So credit goes to Chandan this time. Next time could be you. So I request people who prepare, come back and give some thoughts which can help other people. Basically, we built this community to help each other. Of course, it's a institution. We too have enrollment, earning, all that there. But still, I want to have a very healthy, helping community. It's not only for the PMP certification, learning, getting a job, having a better life. So let's make a good environment to live. That's the aim of this ecosystem. So let's enjoy this journey. Super good. There we go. Then we have to get to some subject. And what I do is I'm going to bring something more. By the way, Chandan is planning to write an article. He will post it in LinkedIn soon. The point is he had a lot of posters at his house saying that what all he did. He clicked a picture and shared with me, this is what I did. Then I was requesting him, can he write a post of what all he did? It could inspire a few more people. It's not only for PMP, it can inspire someone to come up with a new job or some good growth in life. Yeah. So Chandan, I hope the posters are still there. Your family allows it.
As of now, it is still there, Shri, because I told them I'll continue with ACP.
My God. Did
But
you
then,
take them for outing? Did you give the party for them?
yeah, of course, I gave them a party as well. And
Okay.
yeah, so they've allowed me to keep the posters simply because, they were not happy because I was always telling my daughter, don't spoil the walls, painting and doing. But now I'm doing that. So she's angry with me that why are you now spoiling this?
Okay, we will eagerly look for your post to
Sure,
talk about what is a journey. Okay.
I will definitely share. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Sanjan. That's and he's available. Probably you can catch up in our expert WhatsApp group or catch up with him directly in Zoom as well. He's happy to help us.
Sure, definitely, Shri. Thanks.
Great. That's nice. That's a good way to start. Meantime, people checking scores of India, England. India will be good. Don't worry. We'll start getting into some learning. I have some topic or a topic. Talk about risk management in agile way. I have a small segment to talk about agile risk. Then I have a question to go. First question to people listening here. Do you think agile project will also have risk? Is this possible? But Shri, in a predictive model, we know we have a good amount of planning in place. People may not be available. Material may not be available. There'll be delay in the sponsors giving the fund for the project. Those kind of risks are there. But what about Agile? Do we see Agile also have a risk? Any thoughts here? Is it possible? Is it possible?
Yeah, it's possible.
Highly possible,
Yes.
isn't it? You cannot say no for it. Any project will have a risk. Why not in Agile? So let's understand some factor. Thanks for the inputs here. So Agile is also going to have a risk, but the way we handle, we'll see that. First thing, I believe most of us are aware of this Stacy graph or Stacy matrix part where we see in the screen now. In the screen, as it says, you have two uncertainty in this graph. Can someone tell what are the uncertainties in Agile project? What is uncertainty?
Risk is unplanned or uncertain.
Uncertain. Yeah, risk is an uncertainty. Well said. But in this graph, you're seeing something called a requirement
Requirements
uncertainty.
and technology.
Technical and
Exactly. So let us see this graph which talks about if a project has a requirement uncertainty. When I say close to agreement, let's put it the value as 0. Then I put a value far from agreement as a 10, which means when a project is happening, the requirements are very clear. That is close to agreement. I may stay somewhere here when I say I know what I have to do. When I know what I should do in a project, that is in the requirement side. Whereas when I go a little upper, which means the more I get unclear, as rightly said, uncertainty, the risk, I would call it as it's complicated for me in some area. If more than a couple of areas or more areas I'm not clear, my complication becomes a complex, isn't it? In your health, if there is one problem, then it is a complicated. Too many problems in your body health, it gets complex to fix it. It gets more multiplied. Now, the requirement uncertainty talks about the risk. And what about technology? Same applies in technology. When I know what to do in technology or how I'm going to do this in technology, and that factor is within the known circle, if I don't know how to do or it's too far away than what we can imagine, then it's going to be high uncertainty. I'll again put the number 10 here. So message here is when the requirement uncertainty is very high, when the technical uncertainty is very high, we come to a stage called adaptive planning. So the message is the whole purpose of taking a project and handling in an agile, adaptive way is with the understanding it holds risk. Okay, why I'm putting this point is in a predictive nature, risk is planned, risk is identified in advance and start writing some mitigation strategies. However, when it comes to agile projects are built the way it is built itself to handle the risk. So you may not have a special criteria to sit or talk about risk. It's meant to handle risk. However, there are some areas where we have to work out. So if you see agile projects includes risk in user stories or the way you implement, right? When you say user stories are part of backlog, this is about the requirement. Your requirements handle the risk in the project. Teams discuss risk at a planning meeting. Now, if you see the meetings, what you do, or the day-to-day procedure, the process, what you follow, which will cover the risk. Okay, I'll explain two things now. In agile projects also we have risk, but how to look into this risk? I'll put two terms in agile to look at the risk. One is short term, one is long term. Okay. But Shri, what is this, man? What is the long term? What is short term? When I say short term, how risk is handled in the near future and how a risk is anticipated, how risk is handled or planned in a long term, which means overall for a project level. Let's see both of them now in Agile, how they work. However, no one stops us to create the risk register in Agile project. Also, you can come up with a risk register, which has a list of information. Hey guys, these are the risks we're anticipating. At the same time, there are some good ways in Agile will handle risk. The reason is Agile is a is an inheritance from a concept called lean management. In lean management, we talk about a reduction of wastage. Waiting time would be not a good option. Unwanted process is considered as a waste, or features which is not going to add any value, it's also called as a waste. Now, when you follow lean management, there is a high opportunity. You keep tuning your process, keep tuning your product to remove some of the non-value added items. Watch out here. When you keep removing non-value items continuously, you automatically push the risk out of your system. But see, why not we're doing this in a predictive way? In predictive way, what happens is you're anticipating many things in advance and you're planning your scope of a project, time of a project, cost of a project. You anticipate this and then you draft it. I will not tell that's wrong. If there is a school building to come up, there is a hospital to come up, there is a highway work to come up, there is an India-England cricket match happening. It's a big event. Those kind of events or a big construction work, I cannot be too much adaptive. I have to be much clear on the requirement. I should be clear on how I'm going to do this. Middle of the cricket match between India and England, I cannot do something. Maybe a little bit here and there, but not a major change I can do. So their anticipation is a must. But if there is a way, you have an opportunity of changing your requirements, upgrading your technology, then I go into Agile. That's a way we think into. Now, what I do is I'll show you two things primarily, right, for today's short class. Primarily, two information is how risk is addressed or how risk is anticipated in Agile. The first I said is a short term, other one is long term. When I say short term, okay, let's look at this. Can someone tell what you are seeing in the screen now? What is it? The blue line, a circle, what is it? Any thoughts?
It is
What
a
is it?
flow. Is it a flow?
It's a flow. Very good. I like the word flow. Nice one. Any other thoughts? One is flow. Very good. Then
it's a process also.
It's a process. Very good. It's a process. Nice to say. All right. Flow, process. Can we also call this as an iteration?
Yes.
Yes.
Or in Agile or a sprint, can we call it sprint? All right. Now, what is happening here? If you watch out, this is a sprint or iteration or a flow, or correctly mentioned here, the word process. There is a process happening here. What is a process, Shri? You mentioned in risk management for Agile, you will explain two things. One is a short term, other one is a long term. Now, what we are seeing right now is a short term. What do you mean by short term? The Agile itself set up a process, and this process, the main goal of this process is to address the risk which is happening in the short term. There could be some issues also. Be watchful. Issues means something have happened. Risk means something could happen. Okay. So a process in Agile, what they said, like a flow, a process, an iteration, or a sprint, a short cycle. The whole goal of this is to arrest the problem in a short term. How do you do this? If you watch out, a sprint could go for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks. It's a short cycle. In this short cycle, they have many checkpoints. When I say many checkpoints, when you do a sprint planning, you are picking up the work which makes a sense, and that work is properly refined with the detail. So you work to arrest the risk by picking up the right work from the product backlog, right? And then the team have something called daily stand-up to converse about what kind of issues would be there in order to run a sprint. And regularly they converse about what went well, or is there any blockers they have. They talk about any blockers which could be a risk in the system. At the review meeting, they present the demonstration of what work they have done. Come on, man. How demonstrating will protect the risk? Let me put the question to audience here. When I demonstrate a piece of work in a big project to my customer, am I preventing any risk? Any thoughts on this?
Yes, you are preventing
Yes.
the risk of rework because you're getting the customer buy-in, saying you are on the right track.
Fantastic. I love it what you said. The right word you said is I'm avoiding some rework. Very good. Nice to know. Any other points you said? One is rework, other one is?
You might
Feedback.
get
Feedback.
Feedback. I love it. Very good. Then what? I heard another word. What is the other one?
cost.
Cost of it. Cost, quality, time, all falls into place. Very good. Nice said. Now, good point I heard is rework and feedback. I take these 2 points. By demonstrating to my customer, I'm showing that, hey, customer, this is what you asked for. This is what we are delivering now. Can you take a look? But see how this is preventing the risk. It's arresting a problem which could happen in some timeline. I'm going to see if there is any problem right away, not end of the project. Key point, not end of the project. This is part of lean management where we talk about carry the work item in a small packets. In lean management, they use the word small packet, a small batch. They use the word small batch. You take in a small batch so that you don't carry a big thing on your shoulder to put it down. Rather, you carry a small packet. Chances are you go faster and you go get a feedback and fix the problem right away. And the next one is, I just spoke about stand-up. I spoke about review as a process, retrospective as a process. Here, we talk about how to improve the process, the way the team work. Do anyone know what they do in retrospective in Agile? Any idea what they do in retrospective?
Process
It's a
improvement.
kind of a lesson learned session, like what has gone wrong during the demonstration, and
Okay.
then they try to correct those in the next iteration.
Nice to know, nice to know. But how does it prevent the risk in a project? Any thoughts why or how it will connect to the risk in a short term? What kind of risk?
So basically, it's a kind of a learning which you take up, that's how you avoid the future risk.
Well said. Absolutely. So thanks a lot for the inputs here. If you watch out, the whole agile process, what we have as iteration, sprint, or a lean management, the whole idea behind Toyota manufacturing system. And from in the 1990s, when IT came with the Scrum, Kanban, extreme programming, and DSDM methodology, and more methodology, the whole idea here is, hey guys, shall we tune and bring up a process, and this process on its own will keep fixing the risk then and there, or they anticipate the risk and start working on it. By doing this, I would arrest the risk of any technical unknown, any team member not collaborating, requirement clarity. We talk about every day what's happening. Keep a transparency. Keep the product owner, the customer representative inside my system. Now, there's a process arrest many short-term problems. It could be an issue, it could be a risk. In a sprint, if it is 2 weeks or if it's a 4 weeks, there could be some risk. I could anticipate on the day 1, work on it, 8th day, the risk does not happen. Or it is an issue happens, I bring up in a stand-up meeting, hey guys, I have some problem in doing this work. I don't have a technology. I'm not getting an access. My computer is not working. The manager is not giving the information. I can express it openly. And the whole process is to fix the problem in the short term. Okay, this is fine, Shri. What you're saying makes, okay, yeah, in Agile, we have some process which will arrest the risk. But do you think this is the only risk you have in Agile? Come on, man. In project, you will have a lot of risk, right? There will be big size of risk. A release is not happening. 10 members in a team going for a long vacation. The license of a Microsoft system or computers are not available. Or something big will happen. What do you do for that? What are you going to do for the big risk? What's going to do for the long-term risk? Now let's go to the next stage. The stage of what I shared you is a short term, the process itself. Let's talk a little on the long term. Now, in long term, you are not stopped to tell that, hey, like a predictive project, I will create a risk register. You are completely allowed to do that. However, what they do in Agile project is they call as adjusted or a risk adjusted backlog. If some of you heard about it, the word talks about risk adjusted backlog, which means you have a backlog, a set of requirements to be done. When I talk about people not available, when I talk about a particular license not available, when I talk about the funding for the project not happening, I'm pulling out some risk, okay? And this risk will talk about impact analysis. This talks about probability and the impact. Talk about probability and impact. And you write some strategy, what to do for it, what to do for it, what to do for it. It is nothing but it's going to reflect on your requirement. See, what do you mean by requirement here? It means when these risks are popping up, it has an impact on what you are going to deliver. It is going to impact on how you're going to deliver. It's going to impact on when you're going to deliver. Now, what is happening here is your backlog. I'm sure you are all aware of what is called a backlog, isn't it? A backlog is a collection of requirements in Agile at this point of time, what we know in the project. Now, when I know the risk for the long term, I would sit and converse with maybe your team, maybe a release engineer, maybe a senior product manager, a product owner, top executives. They sit and converse about what should be done. They keep adjusting the backlog. For example, one item comes in, the other item can go down. So you keep prioritizing. So now what I want to point out here is you play with your major risk items by doing some technique called prioritization. Now you prioritize based on the risk, what item should be in the top, mid, and low, and keep adjusting your items. But you mean this is about the epics, features, user stories? Maybe. Could be, because the people unavailability can change the timeline of delivery of particular feature. If there is a licensing problem or a funding not available, certain work item, what you can do, that can be in the top, rest item can go down. Definitely, you should have a mitigation strategy. I'm not denying that. You should go talk to a senior management, find a way to get more people. Definitely, a Scrum Master will not do that. A product owner will not do that. A team will not do that. Who will do this? Still, there is a confusion in the market, and many companies are going with a delivery manager. Many companies are going with TSM, Technical Service Manager. Many companies are going with Agile Project Manager. Those roles are still in confusion in the market. It will take time to settle. But the point is, we will have somebody called manager like you or me or someone else who will walk into these criteria to check what's happening. But that doesn't mean team cannot have a look. Team can also have a look. Hey, we are seeing that there is some problem here, and this work item will go down. This will come up. Now, point here is, I was mentioning in Agile also risk is available. However, the process of Agile itself, the way it works, keep fixing the risk regularly. That is on the short-term way. When it is on a long-term, a major risk keep coming up, no one stops us to say that I will have a risk register. In the register, I'll list down the risk and mitigate it. You can completely do that. Nobody stops you. At the same time, there is something called backlog or risk-adjusted backlog. You prioritize based on the risk outcomes, how the work items to be done. I see many times this is perfectly done by the product manager along with the product manager owner, a product manager and product owner who knows the business, who also converse with the Agile project manager to know what's happening in the risk and keep adjusting accordingly. A question back to here. Do you think Agile is inbuilt in a way to handle the risk efficiently? You feel so?
Yes.
Yes, in short term, it can fix by itself.
I'm sorry, I missed your last line. What is that?
In short term, it can like fix itself.
Exactly. That's a well said. That's well said. See, the agility is all about a reflex. In sports, we call agility, which means somebody's running in a good speed, can hold their speed, take a twist, turn their body, and go to the next direction. That's agility, isn't it? Somebody's very agile, man. How you're agile? Because your reflex, they call reflex in sports. Your body has a reflex to turn and twist. If you're heavy, if you're not able to turn and twist, yeah, your agility is less. Now, the agile system itself is framed in a way it can turn and twist according to the expectation and need. But don't take it for granted. It will be always work on its own. We are the human being inside this process. If somebody don't bring up the problem in a daily stand-up, then you are not agile. If you don't be transparent on demonstration that the work is not completed or work is completed, then how the customer knows there is a problem? If in retrospective, everyone keeps quiet, yes, we are doing a good job. So where is the problem? Nobody says no problem. If you don't expose your problem, then how do you find your risk? The same way, if you don't know what is a long-term risk, it's a fund-oriented, time-oriented, resource unavailability, technology problem, or could be something else. If you don't address it, then it won't happen. So that is why they say that you should be in this thought that doing agile and being agile. Doing agile is all these ceremonies and process, but if you don't behave as agile, then you go back to the place of saying that it's not working. It will not work until you really believe it and be open on it. So the agile, as I rightly said, it's made up in a way that it can handle it. But keep in mind for examination, when the question comes, check out, is this risk on a short term? Then check out the answers. Any process will solve the risk. Stand up, review, discussing with the customer. You can solve it in a short-term risk, which is on the process. A long-term would be on the risk-adjusted backlog by prioritizing the work item. So there you can solve any problem. So process, prioritization. These two helps in Agile to handle the risk. However, keep in mind, PMI also never stops. None of the companies stops. Every project, including predictive or adaptive, we can have a risk register. In this, I can list down all the risks and I can rank it high, medium, and low. I can write a response strategy if in case this risk happens, what to do. So you're free to do. Nobody stops you. Fadil, have you got some info about the risk in Agile? Is that helping you?
Yes, Shri.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. For one question here, in Agile, there is a place we talk about continuous attention to technical excellence. Have anyone seen that principle in Agile?
Yeah.
Can somebody read out or remember it? Recall it? What does it mean? Continuous attention to? I'll give a seconds if you can Google it. What does that say?
Is it a continuous agreement to technical excellence and good design enhance agility?
You're close to that. You're close to that. For
Continuous attention to technical excellence and good design enhances agility.
Fantastically said. Continuous attention to technical excellence and good design. Now, I will love this word called enhance agility. Okay. You have agility with you, but how to enhance agility? You will enhance only when what you do? Continuous learning and continuous attention. In agility, the process itself in that way that on a daily basis, weekly basis, you keep in view of what we are doing. How can I enhance my system? When I keep talking about enhancement, your system becomes so agile. That is why your banking system where you drop money from the bank or you transfer money to someone, everything works smooth. I'm sure 10 years back, if you don't have a passbook, the book which you get from the bank, you will not trust that bank, isn't it? You need that bank statement says this is the money you have in your account. I'm sure in the last 4 or 5 years, many of you don't have any statement from the bank. Is this true? Everything is only digital, but you still believe that money is there safe. Do you? Many don't have your bank statement. You don't have a printed paper. You don't have a passbook. You don't have it. You believe it. How it's believing it? But Shriyam, how come believe will happen? Yeah, they have to enhance, right? If not, somebody could hack and take the money as they want. They keep improving the system to arrest the risk which is anticipated long run and short run. Agility, when the project is developing, you keep looking for the technical. And a banking system is a continuous product. You keep enhancing the system. So continuous attention to technical excellence could be within the project or for the whole product life cycle. We keep a look how to enhance it, which is again a way of reducing the risk, arresting the risk. Or even if the risk happens, I'm ready to address it. That's what technical design, good design. You are ready. You know that it would happen. If it happens, am I ready? I'm not surprised. Suddenly something happens. Oh, I'm surprised. No, I know what will happen. And that's what this principle is talking about. You keep attention to it. But the question is, who will do this? Shriram, in my company, I have a design engineer. I have an architect. Will they do this? The answer here is in Agile, they say that yes, they can suggest. I'm not denying that. But the team which is doing the job, they should be capable of it. Then they call T-shaped members. They call cross-functional team, which is a capable. When you have a T-shape, when you have a cross-functional, which is involved on technology, come on, guys, any risk I will address. That's what they think. Yeah. All right. So time permits, please read these principles also in Agile. That will help you to enhance your knowledge. Good job. All right. Now, what we do? Oh, good. We are good to the time. Now, we'll talk something about the question paper. Anyone have any specific question which you want to share and discuss? Because I do have a couple of questions to bring. Any questions? You practiced recently and it was so challenging for you. Then what I do is I'll bring up a question. Let me see any hands up there. No hands up there. Oh, there is a question. Muttan answering. Okay, Chandan is answering. So what I'll do is I'll bring up the question here. I have a question in the screen. I request you to read the question and see if we can give an answer in the chat box. Mm-hmm. You can give your answers in the chat box. Okay, I'm getting some answers. Okay. I would expect everyone to give a try, even if you're not sure on your answer. It's okay. Even if it is wrong, it's okay. Give a try. Completely fine. Okay, I have a mix of answers of A, C, and D as well. Okay. Let me go with someone who have an A. Madhulata, would you like to say why you thought A could be an answer? I'm not going to say that this is right and this is wrong. I'm going to just listen. Okay. Why A could be a good answer for you?
So, Shri, I felt actually, I mean, before taking any decision, we should analyze the impact and probability of the risk. So,
okay. So if you observe the question, you are in the middle of a risk assessment meeting. A meeting is happening, okay? Meeting is happening. In exam question, you will see when you say you could be the project manager from PMI perspective. Middle of the meeting with the key stakeholders, some important guys, okay, key important guys. While identifying and assessing the risk, you realize that the two key stakeholders are overemphasizing the impact of a risk, overemphasizing, okay, pressing hard. What's the best step to take to avoid unfair or bias when assessing the risk? How to stay away from being partial? That's a question. They didn't talk about what you should do for that risk. That's not the question. The question is, what is the best step to avoid staying away from partial or staying away from bias? It's more of a behavioral question. It's not a question about that risk, what you will do. That's not the question. Okay, now I go to Madhulata's thought. Perform sensitivity analysis to establish which risk have the most impact on the project. Okay. You think this will help you, sensitivity analysis, Madhulata, to come out of the bias?
No, Shri. I think the way I read the question is wrong. So after you explain, now I feel it is wrong.
Okay. All right. I will not say wrong. I will park it, but I'll give not much mark for this year. I'll hold it. Okay. I should have somebody went to the C also. Yeah. Anyone about the C? You want to talk? Probably I can pull somebody.
Yeah. Shri, Rahul here. Shri, I was a bit confused between C and D. But when I talked about both the options, it's like engaging a neutral facilitator to support the perform qualitative risk analysis process. It's like passing the buck to some other person. So then I thought that C looks to be a good thing. Why? Because when there is a risk, there is a threat. So I thought that a risk response strategy would be there if we can eliminate. So that was my assumption, and that's why I went with C.
Makes sense. I get your point. You feel that because passing to someone, it is you are not carrying it. You're moving to somebody else.
Yeah.
You're not taking responsibility.
Correct. So that's why I opted. I was a bit confused.
I'm listening you. Completely I'm listening you. Okay, nice. I heard another voice.
Can I say?
Please.
I have opted also for C, but what I understood is talking about the other stakeholders who are not happy, maybe that is just a distraction. That's what I understood. It should go as per the simple question only, that if there is a risk, what should be your response? So then, the risk response strategy should be in place. That is what I understood.
Okay, which means you go with a D. I mean C. C. Okay. So develop a risk response strategy to eliminate threat. Okay. Now let me put something here. Some of us may not be really aware of it. In risk, there are two things. One is threat, other one is opportunity. Is this right?
Yes.
Two sides of things, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you think risk means it's negative. Okay, next risk can be opportunity also. So now develop a risk response strategy to eliminate the threat. Okay, they're telling that it is something like you're giving a point. When you develop a risk response strategy, it will eliminate the threats. Are you sure every time we will eliminate the threat? Or sometime we have to mitigate it, that is reduce the threat.
Yeah.
Or sometime we have to accept it. Right? It's possible, right?
Yes.
This answer is nice, it looks nice, but still it is sometimes telling you that, hey guys, you develop it so that we eliminate this itself, the situation itself. Eliminating the situation itself is not going to be so easy, at least in this case. I'll tell you why. If you watch out here, you are in the middle of a risk management assessment meeting, middle, not completed. On that too, these guys are key people. When I say key people, these guys could bring some new requirement, which could be risk. They say budgeting cannot be done. More funding will not be given, new risk. Material supply, they say we will cut the supply because there is a war between this country and that country. You are part of that country. We won't give you supply. Cut down. If it's a software company, maybe you don't get that specific technical people available in the market. Time zone difference is a problem. Could be number of problems. Count the problem, number of problems. Now, while identifying and assessing the risk, you realize that two key stakeholders overemphasizing the impact. These guys keep pressing you heavily, saying that, man, this impact is a hell impact, man. They're pressing heavily. Now you are breaking your head. What the hell is happening here? These guys are talking about too much pressing here. Can I take a call here? Now the question is not a problem statement. The question is, how can I be unfairness and how can I avoid the bias? If I say to one stakeholder, other will come back. If I say to other stakeholder, this guy will come back. So there could be some problem. Now, let me go to the answer. Somebody said D. Anyone talk about D? Why you thought neutral will help you? Any answer D?
Yeah, so I can go, Shri. This is Vinay.
Yeah.
So, so from what I understood from the question is that you have already identified the risk. Now, all you need to do is to prioritize your risk, and the way you prioritize the risk is by doing a qualitative risk analysis, right? And if you do it right, a qualitative risk analysis, the stakeholders may not believe you. So that's the reason you might need a neutral facilitator, okay, who can say, okay, right, which risk is more important.
I like the view what you said. So which means you're saying that already the risk has been listed down. We know. Only thing, for example, you are saying something like this. I'll put a pitch here. What you're saying here is there is a risk register already available. In this risk register, number 1, there is a risk. Number 2, there is a risk. Number 3, there is a risk. You ought to just mark down which is a high level risk, low level risk, moderate risk. Yeah, this is what you have to do.
Yes.
The point what you're pointing out is that's called qualitative risk analysis.
Right.
If you involve in this scenario, not always, in this scenario, it could turn into a bias.
Right.
But somebody in this group can ask why it should turn into a bias. Yeah, it's a tough question, right?
It's human nature.
But thing is, I like the point what you say. You're bringing a facilitator, not an expert, a facilitator to moderate the thing, isn't it? Moderating. I think you know the role of a facilitator, right? Somebody will moderate the brainstorming. Somebody can moderate the workshop, a fishbone diagram, Pareto chart, some whiteboard discussion. After which probably you come to a conclusion, this is a high risk, this is a low risk, this is a moderate risk. Is this a point, Vinay, you want to share?
Right. You're right.
Okay. I see your point there. Okay, that's a good point. Then what I do is I'll show you what's the answer. All right, the answer goes with a D, engaging a neutral facilitator to support perform risk analysis process. Now I'll go back to the point. The point what Vinay was pointing out is good to tell that, hey guys, as per PMI, let's be careful on this, as per the PMI, when the risk has been listed down, you start assessing. What do you want to assess it? You assess it to see what is the ranking for it. And then you start a strategy. I am sure this should be done. You cannot escape from it. But before doing that, first of all, I should know which one is the high, which one is middle or moderate, which is lower. However, the point in the question here is, they didn't ask how you are going to do that. They asked, how can I avoid this problem? The problem is unfairness and bias. In this whole set of 4 answers, only one answer has someone who can avoid the bias. That someone will be a facilitator. This facilitator could be a risk management expert, could be a scrum master, could be a senior manager, could be some other team member. But the point is, there is somebody you're bringing in to orchestrate or be there to avoid the risk. That's the point. Hope you got it.
Shri, if the question would have been, what is the best step the project manager should take to avoid the risk?
To avoid
the risk.
Avoid the risk. That will be then you have to go to the root cause of the problem, which means, for example, the customer is adding a new requirement, which is late in the project. Now you have to write a strategy to avoid so that you will involve the stakeholders very beginning in the project, so that that surprise don't come. Avoid means you avoid that situations of happening. That kind of avoid.
Yeah, got it.
Got it, right? Fantastic, fantastic. Good job, guys. I think I like the discussion here. Really went well. Appreciate it. I know that's a good one. And I believe we got some information about the risk today. Any other questions somebody have to discuss, want to bring up about the exam?
One quick question, Shri.
Yes.
So Rita 10th edition versus 11th edition.
It's a good comparison. I like it. What you want to know is which one to read. Is that correct?
No, I've already done with 10th edition and I'm not going to 11th edition now.
Don't do that. Don't do that. If you're done with the 10th, don't do that. So I'll tell you what Rita team usually do with the versions. 8th edition was there, 9th edition was there. When they came with the 8th and 9th edition, those are physical copy. So every edition they take a time to update. Recently, they converted into digital copy, which means somebody buys a license for $100 or $200, they'll give you one access. That access will be 6 months or 1 year valid. Now, what Rita also learned is they want to, okay, it's a business. So they made a 10th edition. Within few months of time, they came with 11th edition. What they did is, in 10th edition, the agile concepts are not properly added as a chapter. They blended in the subject, but no separate chapter to talk about Scrum, Kanban, extreme programming, lean management. This is not properly given us. In 11th edition, they added it. And then they made some more here and there, some updates. And that became 11th edition. Now, one more license, one more amount of earning. So if you have read a 10th edition, I would recommend you to read Agile Practice Guide book. More than enough to clear the exam.
Okay.
However, if you are new, you are from the current October batch of PMP with us, then you would have already started reading 11th edition. In 11th edition, they have covered Agile as one chapter totally. So you will not open the book of Agile Practice Guide. You will always focus on one book called Rita 11th edition. That's a message.
Got it.
Clear enough? Yeah, good. Nice. Good question you asked. All right, then. I think that's a good Sunday now. Go ahead, enjoy the good cricket match. And people here for the next class, get ready. Today, we'll talk more on schedule and budgeting. Going to be pretty interesting. Pulaya, you have a question for me? No.
Sorry, no, Sir. Thank you. Nothing.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks all for joining here. And Chandan, thanks. Special thanks to you for joining here, giving that success formula and giving that energy for us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you.
All right.
Shri,
Great.
thanks, Chandan.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank
Catch you
you.
all.
Thank you, bye.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.